ASEAN regionalism.
This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinis, to use this as an educational material. Objectives: differentiate between regionalization and globalization. Identify the factors leading to a greater integration of the ASEAN region and analyze how different Asian states confront the challenges of globalization and regionalization.
Introduction.
What are regions? Regions are a group of countries located in the same geographically specified area. Regions can be a combination of two regions. Regions can be a combination of more than two regions organized to regulate and oversee flows and policy choices. Let's talk about what Asian regionalism means. But first, let's find out what regionalism means. So, regionalism it is described as an action by governments to liberalize or facilitate trade on a regional basis. So what is Asian regionalism? Defined as a political ideology that favors a specific region over a greater area. It is usually results due to political separations, religions, geography, cultural boundaries, logistic regions, and managerial divisions. So, it is a product of economic interaction. As a result of successful, outward-oriented growth strategies, Asian economies have grown not only richer but also closer together. In 1997, the ASEAN Plus 3, Japan, South Korea, and China was instituted. The most prominent and enduring organization that emerged in the ASEAN region were ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, EAC, East Asian Community, APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, EPT, ASEAN Plus 3, EAS, East Asian Summit, and the EPAC, Asia Pacific Community.
Evolution of Asian regionalism.
On August 8, 1967, five leaders, the Foreign Minister of Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand, sat down together in the main hall of the Department of Foreign Affairs building in Bangkok, Thailand, and signed a document by virtue of the documents the Association of Southeast Asian Nations was born. The five foreign ministers who signed it: Adam Malik of Indonesia, Narciso Ramos of the Philippines, Tun Abdul Razak of the Malaysia, Ratahama of the Singapore, and Tanat Puran of the Thailand, will subsequently be hailed as the founding fathers of probably the most successful intergovernmental organization in the development world today. And the documents that they signed will be known as the ASEAN Declarations. So it was a short, simply worded documents containing just 5 articles. It declared the establishment of an association for regional cooperation among the countries of Southeast Asia to be known as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. As spelled out of the aims and purposes of that association, these aims and purposes were about cooperation in the economic, social, cultural, technical, educational, and other fields, and in the promotion of regional peace and stability through abiding respect for justice and rule of law, and adherence to principles of the United Nations Charter. It established that the association would be open for participation by all states in the Southeast Asian region subscribing to its aims, principles, and purposes. It proclaimed ASEAN as presenting the collective will of the nation of Southeast Asia that bind themselves together in the friendship and cooperation, and through joint effort and sacrifice secure for their peoples and for posterity. So the APEC is the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation. So the forum is The Asian Pacific it is established in 1989 has become the preeminent economic primary purpose is to promote sustainable economic growth, trade and advancement and prosperity the Asia Pacific regions. APEC implements a wide variety of initiatives to help integrate the region's economics and promote trade while addressing sustainability and social equity, which is APEC has grown to become dynamic engine of economic growth and one of the most important regional forum in the Asia Pacific. So the Asia is na-form na siya, which is the tungod sa Cold War. So during Cold War namugna ng Asia tungod sa Cold War para magka-sinabtanay ug magka-peace. Kay sa panahon ng Cold War daghang naapektuhan like mga countries na nagkuhan og mga nag-away. So mo to ang Asia mo nang gimugna sa five leaders na para matukod ang Asia, so which is katong Philippines, Singapore and Malaysia and Indonesia. So nahimo na ang ASEAN, which is na-publish sa Thailand, which is the 1967. So mo na ang parang APEC, which is kanang Asia. So ang APEC, which is Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation, so kana siya mo nang na-publish ko na siya ang APEC, Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation, so which is kanang na-publish na siya sa Australia in 1996. So it means publish siya tungod kanang maka-free trade po ta, like kanang karon naman tayo mga trade ron, like for example ng mga trading goods sa line nasol, which is kanang nag-connectar ta sa line counters or other people, like kanang export and import resources. So for example kanang mga ibang trade na to sa line nasol kanang pineapple or apple. So mura na ang pwede nato matrend nato dito sa laing lugar. Which is karang na pinakasikat nato dire sa for example sa lain po nga nasod kanang mag-trade po sila sa atong lugar. Like karang for example kanang with China, with kanang America. So nang gitawag og naghatagay ra ta og resources kanang konektare ra ta tungod ng pagkuan sa APEC sa Australia.
I'm Cadet Exilmar Pialago. I discuss about regionalizations, globalizations, and regionalism. So what is regionalizations? The process of dividing an area into smaller segments called regions. Regionalization is a process parallel to globalization, in which large regions are divided into smaller regions, areas, or districts. It's a process of closer economic integrations of countries within a region that divides into small areas called regions. It is tendency to form decentralized regions, which is concerned to develop itself. Example: divisions of nation-states of provinces. In the economic context, regionalization is management tool. Effect of regionalizations: provincial improvements, growth of domestic organized trading systems. What is regionalism? Also known as sub-nationalism. Sa concept of political geography It is movement which seek to politicize the territorial predicaments of its regions with the aim of protecting or furthering each regional interest. Regionalism is based on ethnicity, caste, creed, languages, and culture. More specifically, regionalism refers to three distinct elements: movements demanding territorial autonomy within unitary states, the organization of the central state on a regional basis to the delivery of its policies, including regional development policies, political decentralization, and regional autonomy. Principle of regionalism is a scientific procedures of classification and division. The principle of classification and division may be fruitfully applied in the constructions of regional systems. What is globalization? Expansion and intensification of social relations and consciousness across the globalizations represents the global integrations and international trade, investment, information technology, and cultures. More specifically, globalizations means the spreading of business, culture, or any technology on an international level, when the boundaries of country and continents matter no more, and the whole world becomes one global village in itself. Globalization is an effort to reduce the geographical and political barriers for the smooth functioning of any business, opportunity, or benefits. So there are opportunity of business in globalization. First, wider markets. Second, wider acknowledgement and understanding of the culture. More becoming available in the province.
The difference between regionalization and globalization.
So, regionalization limits activities and it focuses on things happening in the region. It means cultural, social, economic, and knowledge exchange with external parties are focused on a region rather than what outside it. So, globalization that makes you know the climate around you. You open your eyes and see the national economies are just a drop in the ocean, but world is interconnected. You understand the economy is larger than one country, but capital and goods flow internationally. So this means knowing the definition enables you to find more opportunities. For example, you can live in a child buy materials in Africa, manufacture in Asia, have office employees in Europe, realize your production in the United States. So, globalization nature promotes integration of economies across state borders all around the world. So, regionalization divides our area into smaller segment. Market allows many corporations to trade at international level. It allows free market. So monopoly is more like to develop. Monopoly means one producer controls supply of good or service, and where the entry of a new producer is prevented or highly restricted. So the cultural and society relations acceleration to multiculturalism through pre-expensive movement of people. So does not support multiculturalism. So aid globalized international communities are more willing to aid countries stricken by disaster.
So, recognized are those not get involved in the affairs of the area. So, and the last one is technological advance. So, globalization has driven great advances in technology. So, advanced technology is rarely available in our country or region.
Regional integration is a process by which two or more nation-states agree to cooperate and work closely together to achieve peace, stability, wealth. The entire world is moving towards integration. It is inevitable in Asia. Southeast Asian countries have already formed Asian Association of Southeast Asian Nations. This regional power bloc appears to find a member state fit very well together because of the following factors. First is military defense. Military defense. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, was formed to protect Europe from the threat of Soviet Union, and as a response, the Soviet Union created the Warsaw Pact. Second is economic crisis. The Asian countries, along with China, Japan, South Korea, established an emergency fund that stabilized Asian economies after rippling effect of that economy's collapse. Third is resources. Countries need to pool their resources together to make themselves more powerful. The organizations of the petroleum exporting countries rose in power when they took every domestic production and controlled crude oil prices across the globe. And lastly, protection of independence. The country under non-alignment movement refused side with the capitalist or Western Europe and North America, or the communist Eastern Europe.
There are many factors that are leading the Asian region into greater integration. First, integration has been marked within Asia. There are a variety of systems, institutions, procedures, social relations, and infrastructures like buildings that are put in a place for countries to engage in exchange, just like a condo that there are many people will invest in it, so that they are not only using it for just for themselves, but to let other people rent their condo. And on the second, economic grants and overseas development assistance are made available by better Asian economies. For example, the Japanese International Cooperation Agency aims to work on human security and quality growth. For this human security, if there are just like Filipino workers that will go to other countries, it has a human security that to keep the Filipino workers or the Filipino workers in safety and in the other countries, so that they will not be able to, so that the country that they will go through, they will not be discriminated by them. And third, production networks have expanded. Economics are mainly on comparative advantage through regional division of labor. For this, there are too many countries that need workers because there are many jobs in other countries, and for us Filipinos, for example, would like to go to other countries so that they have a better job, better better money for them to give to their families. And fourth, cooperation among the Asian and East Asian countries ensured that Asian financial ministers process the established two economic structures, the Chiang Mai Initiative in the Asian Bond Markets Initiative. The process aims to strengthen policy, dialogue, coordination, and collaboration on common financial, monetary, and fiscal issues. And for this, many countries have coordinated to have their the market of initiative that they will share their goods by other countries and to work together. For like us or Asian countries, there are many products in China for the Philippines, and Philippines that example rice. Philippines can supply rice. In Negros there are sugar cane. They can supply it to other countries. That is the markets for us, and the initiative of people is to sell the product, mainly common the collaboration for the financial, so that the market will roll all over the countries. Thank you.
Challenges to regionalism. Research of militant nationalism and populism. This involves in conflict between the NATO, the United States, and Vladimir Putin's anti-NATO movement. Continuing financial crisis. The continuing crisis in the European region continues to lead the United Kingdom to exiting the European Union. Conflict between sovereignty and regional stability. The Philippines had a difficult in letting some countries support its commendation of China occupation of the West Philippine Sea because China had given great investments and economic aid to these countries. Differing visions of regionalism. Developed countries like us may only see regionalism as a tool for political democratization, but developing countries see regionalism as an obstacle to economic globalization because public inquiry slows down its implementation.
How do different Asian states confront the challenges of globalization and regionalization?
We, the nations and people of Southeast Asia, must get together and form by ourselves a new perspective and framework for our region. It is important that individual and jointly we should create a deep awareness that we cannot survive for long as independent but isolated peoples unless we also think and act together and by the ties of friendship and goodwill and imbued with our own ideas and aspirations and determined to shape our own destiny. He added that the establishment of ASEAN, we have taken a firm and a bold step on the road via Ton Abdul. And energy and environment concerns. Rapid economic growth for Asia has led to reliance on economic imports, increasing the importance of sea lanes and transportation routes. Eventually discovers or create sustainable energy source. So migration. What is migration? The combinations of rapidly growing populations in much of the developing people world. Increasingly porous national borders and disparities in economic growth rates have sparked dramatic increase in international migration, like Malaysia or other Asian countries to deploy troops and naval vessels to limit the arrival of migrants. Organized crime and threats from non-state actors through the increasing ease of communication and transportation flows. Growingly permeability of national borders, organized crime network, and terrorism, drugs, and weapon traffickers, and even human smugglers. Asian state must enable stricter laws on national security. Weakeningly regional institution because of bridge between authoritarian members of Asian, so flexible engagement allows for countries to comment on each other's internal policy matters. These countries can monitor economic indicators for sign of impending crisis. Asian countries need to preserve their sovereignty, meaning they should not allow other states to take influence in their political address and decision. Shifts in balance of power, deepening economic immigrations gives rise to regional economic blocs that compete for power and influence. Asian countries need to work together as one region instead of competing for power and rise against Western economic dominance. Asian countries may have to adopt democracy in order to have an efficient economic system that is criticized, that is before well reviewed by the mass. This way the process become more efficient.
And the last is, how do different Asian states confront the challenges of COVID-19?
Different Asian states have varied widely, with some countries being more successful in controlling the spread of the virus than others. Countries that had previous experience with pandemics, such as SARS, were better prepared to respond to COVID-19. Some countries, such as Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, have been successful in controlling the spread of the virus through early and decisive action, including strict lockdown and border closure. Other countries, such as India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, have been hit hard by pandemic with a high number of cases and deaths. The response to the pandemic have also been impacted by the factors such as government policies and healthcare system and economic condition. The responses to COVID-19 in Asian states have been diverse, with some countries being more successful than others in controlling the spread of the virus.
Hello everyone, so let's talk about Asian regionalism. Some advantages of regionalism in Asia. First, it generates productivity gains, new ideas, and competition. Next, it contributes to the efficiency and stability of global financial market and the diversity sources of global demand, helping to stabilize the world economy and diminish the risk posed. There are four major areas of Asian regional organizations. First, trade investment and the integration of real economic activity. Second, the financial integration. Third, macroeconomic policy links. And the last one is the shared social environmental concern.